Hey, people of the internet. I hope everything works. We should be live. How are you doing? How's it going? Man, here, welcome back to another live stream of this live stream dedicated channel, Demonetized. I hope you're all doing fine. Crazy day today. I had a pretty good lawn session again, I must say. I did some handstand push-ups, and I'm getting more and more back into this agility thing, doing this kind of wheels and I'm trying getting back into the rondat and all this kind of jumpy explosiveness agility thing on the lawn, because the lawn is very practical for doing that. There's a lot of space and you can jump around a lot. So the only downside here at the moment is that it's super hot, man. It's just so hot and humid, and you kind of do one move or a couple of moves back to back, and I'm instantly out of breath because it's just this heat pressing down onto you, And then I'm going back inside to set everything up for the live stream and everything. And what happens? Of course, NASA is coming in and they do their splashdown now, exactly when my live stream starts. So I'm actually trying to open another window here so that I can follow along with the splash myself. I don't know how about you, but I mean, I find these kind of things kind of interesting to watch, although you can't really see anything in my experience. So let's try if I can open that at the same time. Yeah, there it is. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to check from time to time to see how far they are. I think they are still quite a few minutes away from the time when the vehicle actually lands on the Earth and everything. By the way, let me know, as always, how the quality is of the sound and the video that you see. Again, we're trying our best here with the quality with the Video Mic Pro. I hope the live stream picks it up. Can you hear me? How do you find the sound? Give me some short feedback, please, in the chat. I see there's already a couple of questions rolling in. Guys, just quickly give me some feedback on the sound, please. Is it nice? Is it picking up the audio? Everything seems fine. That's good. Thanks for the info, man. Thanks for the info. So let's see what's going on here. Matteo Lunelli again on the stream. That's awesome. Hey, Matteo, how are you doing? What's poppin', Manny? Wondering about your next goals in climbing. When are we going to see that freaking 9A? Yeah, man. Dude, I'm trying my best. At the moment, I'm not really trying my best. I'm just resting. Okay, believe it or not, there are things in life which almost come close to the importance of rock climbing. Okay, and this, for example, like trying to support a upcoming new member of the family and getting them onto their legs, feeding them, and I'm basically the guy at the moment that does everything in the household here. I do all the cooking, I do all the cleaning of the diapers and everything, so that Mona can focus on breastfeeding and spending time with the baby and everything. So yeah, it's a fascinating time. So many new experiences, man, and I really would like to be able to focus on that now, for now at least. I think that's the right. There's a time for everything in life, I feel, and now is time to just simply focus on that. And it's so freaking hot and summer and humid outdoors anyway all the time. So I have the feeling all I could do now really is either going into the Alps, into some super high elevation rock climbing area, and there get back into the flow and get back into training, or I could hop my ass into a climbing gym, sweat my bag off, honestly, completely, and trying to get back into climbing there. And yeah, I feel it's just not the right, in terms of value for money, if you want to put it like that, or let's say in terms of value for effort, it's like not the most efficient time to get back into it just at the moment, but soon enough, the autumn season will come. Temperatures is going to be cooler, And yeah, I'm going to try to keep my body fit in other ways on the lawn here and everything, so that I can stay at home and do this stuff, support the new family member and everything. And yeah, and once we are ready to maybe leave the house a little bit longer already, and be actually able to go to climbing areas again, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna hit it hard, and I'm gonna hit it hard again. So that's the plan. Yeah, this is the plan. I can't really go into more detail because honestly, I don't know, and I don't want to give you any promises, which then I can't keep up with, which I can't hold up to. But yeah, we're doing our best here. We're doing our best. Okay. At the moment, we're just staying fit. We're staying focused. We are keeping this project running that I have now. And then when the tension is getting a little less, when everything gets a bit more into equilibrium, I would say, and then we can focus on to the next thing. Davide is here on the stream again. Amazing. What's up, Davide? Hope you're doing fine. Hello again, Manny. Hello again, Davide. Would you consider fasting as a strategy to approach your 9A mission? Would you make a series of it like you did with the 8B? For sure, that would be cool. Okay, making such a mission again, a mission 9A, so to say, that would be cool. Would fasting be a part of it? Definitely. Okay, it's just too effective to not be a part of it. I cannot really imagine any circumstances unless I'm super lucky. Okay, maybe I'm just super lucky and I send it on that day without fasting, without any conditioning, and yeah, the climbing gods just want to get me to the top, and I reach the top without anything. But I don't expect that to happen. I much rather expect a fight to happen, okay, and probably also a real mental fight as well. Especially with the project that I chose, it's really like kind of a super big boulder problem in the beginning, and then we got this sketchy exit, to the anchor where you still can fall, although you're already above the crux. And I expect myself to fall there even, a couple of times, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. First of all, we gotta stick the hardest move of the boulder, though, which is something that I still haven't done. The only move missing in the route, actually. So yeah, but will I make a series about it? Definitely, if I can. It's just that maybe success is not so predictable like with the 8B boulder. I just knew that this good day was coming in terms of conditions with the 8B boulder. That's why I dry fasted, because I wanted to give it a shot, and I was already so close on that boulder, and I knew, damn, if I get another good go like this, if I'm super conditioned, I will just climb it. And this is just what happened. Yeah, so I don't expect the 9A to be as predictable as the 8B boulder for some reason. So we might go with kind of a little bit of a different strategy there. Probably something along the lines of staying in the area for 2, 3, 4 weeks or something, doing a 1 meal a day plus training approach on the route, and also in some gyms, maybe in some local gyms there. But just being in the area and, kind of sieging the route down. Okay, sieging the route down, and over the course of these weeks, I just do a 1 meal a day strategy so that I get lighter and lighter and lighter over time. And at some point, it's just gonna be enough, and it's just gonna happen. Hopefully, yeah, that's what we hope for. But yeah, just so that you have a little bit of a of a spoiler, so to say. Let's see how far they already are with their NASA project there. I need to lower the quality here. Maybe I'm losing a stream quality because I'm running the NASA stream on full quality. Yeah. You always see mission control. This is something that I don't understand with this NASA thing. I mean, they have so much money. Why can't they not afford a beautiful onboard camera? They say, okay, yeah, the vehicle is entering the orbit now. We're getting out of radio frequency there, and this is a technical problem and everything. How in the hell is this a technical problem if you have billions and billions of dollars at your hand, right? I mean, come on, guys. I have the impression, they should show more than just mission control, but maybe that's just me. How about you? What do you think about this kind of NASA thing that's going on there? Let me know. I always find it interesting to follow these things along, yeah, because it's so funny in the chat all the time. you get all these conspiracy theorists. They are there instantly, and spamming the Earth is flat, NASA is fake, blah 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 blah, Earth is flat, and all these kind of things. It's just amazing to watch. The internet is just such a funny place, man. It's just such a funny place, and with big streams like that, it becomes even more obvious, than it already is. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next question, shall we? Julian Neubacher says, "Hi Manny." Hi Julian. "I found a great boulder, 4-meter overhanging edge. That sounds cool. It looks like it has never been climbed before. Do you have any tips to tell if a boulder has been climbed before? For example, chalk marks." Yeah, obviously the chalk marks are a big indicator. The thing is, if the boulder is out in the wild, and obviously a lot of boulders are out in the wild, but if it's out in nature and very exposed to rain, so let's say it's lying there on a meadow, okay, and there is not trees above it that protect it or anything, and you know that if it rains, the water is going to run around it and it's going to wash it down and everything, then there can't be chalk marks for too long because they get washed down very easily. But apart from that, yeah, sometimes you can see the black little spots from the feet. These actually tend to hold on better than the chalk marks if they get wet, okay, because they get really greasy and smooth with time. So there you can see whether it's been climbed or not. But is it super rough? Is it still, can you chip off some tiny little flakes of rock from the boulder? If you can still do that, then there's probably a good chance that it hasn't been climbed. Because if a new guy sees it, then they go there with the steel brush and brush off all the little rock flakes from the surface and everything. They clean the boulder, right? Which is something, that the first ascentists usually do this. So if that hasn't been done before, then yeah, you can expect it not to be climbed so far. But who knows? Yeah, maybe it's a secret thing or something. Who knows? Let's check you only see mission control. And then there comes a comment from NASA in the chat saying, "Thanks for watching today." I'm going to say that too again. Okay? I'm going to give you a thanks for watching today. Let's see if that works. Oh, amazing. It works. I mean, they have, let's see, they have 328,000 watchers, okay, on their live stream. That's amazing. So thanks for staying here on with my 21 watchers on my small stream. That's cool. All right. Matteo Lunelli is there again. Good job, man. Be a good father. I'm going to try my best, man. I'm going to try my best. I think Luki Mayerhofer could be a really good training partner of yours. I found him on IG and he's a beast. He's an absolute beast, man. He's an absolute beast. And actually, there was a time because he was trying 9A. Well, the way it starts, he was trying a 9A in the Ablitzgräben, I think, the Erfolg ist trainierbar route. And how was it? Did I try it first or he tried it first? And I don't know. I think he tried it first, and he told me, "Hey, let's go there and let's give it a session. Let's try it together. Let's try to move together and see if we can find a psych for it. See if we can find a solution." And then I did a session with him on Erfolg ist trainierbar. It was a pretty good session, man, and he looked pretty solid already on the route, actually. Apart from one move, which is the crux move, which is a really, really strange undercling, pinchy, pockety boulder problem. It's really strange to explain. But you have these underclings, and below that, really, really down-facing, greasy footholds like that. And it just seems to happen that this undercling sequence a bit morpho. Okay, so it's a bit easier if you're a bit taller. So we struggled there really hard, but he was already looking really good on the sequence that comes after that, which is not so easy as well. But honestly, it didn't feel so bad for me either. Okay, so Erfolg ist trainierbar. If there wouldn't be this one strange move in there, it would definitely be climbable, because up to the boulder problem, it's maybe something like 8A or something. And then you've got this boulder problem, which is maybe 7C plus 8A boulder problem or something. But yeah, again, very specific, very morpho. I don't know really if it's morpho, honestly, but it felt really big moves for me and for Luki, I think, as well, because he's around the same size as I am. But he's an absolute boulder beast. Okay, the dude climbed 8C boulder, I think, already. So that's what we're talking about here, and he's an absolute beast on the Beastmaker, man. If you watch his IG, I think you can see what he's able to hold on the Beastmaker, and that's crazy. That's far beyond my level, and especially now. Okay, now I'm totally out of conditioning. I'm out of shape in terms of climbing, so I still need to get back into that, obviously, but yeah, he's on another level when it comes to that stuff. Very, very strong dude. Very strong dude. Davide again. Do you think grades are truly linear, or reference grade jump like 6C plus to 7A or 7C plus to 8A are harder? Maybe even the contrary, okay? Maybe even 6C plus to 7A are easier and 7C plus to 8A are easier, because the I feel that the round grades like this, the 7A, the 8A, the 9A, these grades are given in modern times, at least, very easily. Okay, people tend to give them, they like to give them because they sound good. Okay, this is a good sounding grade. And in the newer areas where they develop, let's say, the next big sport climbing mecca for holiday climbing and everything, they really like to give these grades because it gives the climber simply a good feeling if they climbed these grades, right? So what they do is they check out the routes, they bolt it, they climb it, and then they have the feeling, yeah, it's around in this area, 7C plus, 8A maybe. Let's give it 8A, okay, because it looks good in the guidebook. And this is how a lot of grade inflation happens actually with these grades. If you go back in time, okay, old school 8As, it was just the other way around, funnily enough. Okay, it was the other way around. The old school dudes, they thought, okay, oh, this could actually be even harder than this last 7C plus that I already did. Could be next level. But you know what? It's not significantly harder. I don't feel confident in giving it AA. I just give it 7C plus as well. And this is how these super hard old school gradings come about. You know, and then there is these local climbing crews. Okay, very small climbing crews which siege only the same area all the time, over and over again. And then these guys, they downgrade themselves, and then they challenge themselves that they found something even harder, but they don't want to grade it harder. And then this is a crazy cycle, man. This is a crazy spiral, which ends up somewhere where you've got super tough gradings. Okay, this is at least what I have observed. This is what happened in the past when they did, when the locals sieged an area. But nowadays it's the other way around. The harder grades are given more easily, especially in these touristy climbing areas. Yeah. And do you think grades are truly linear? Yes, absolutely. Grades are truly linear. And I wasn't sure in the video I made about the subject. I talked about it. I wasn't sure myself until the point of where I had reached 8A, I think, around. When I reached 8A, I thought, wow, okay, now I reached a plateau. I think I reached 8A pretty quickly, and then I stayed at 8A for a year or something, yeah? If you go back, I think I talked in a video about that, in the grade pyramid versus what you should focus on more, on the highest grade, the max grades, or should you build your pyramid first before you crash into the next higher grades? So there I talked about how I plateaued at 8A and how I got the impression, wow, beyond 8A it might be exponential. Okay, it might be that every new grade is even that much harder than the previous one to achieve. But that's not the case. Okay, that's not the case. Looking at it in hindsight now that I climbed up to 8C plus, I have the impression that it's not at all like this. It's very linear, in fact. Okay, we just getting put into place by our genetics and starting age. That's just to say the sad truth. And depending on where that position is on the grade ladder, okay, so let's say you have super good genetics and you have super good starting age, like for example 6 years old, you started climbing at 6 years old, so that means you climbed 20 years already when you reach age 26. Okay, let that sink in. You've climbed 20 years at your peak performance, your lifetime peak performance age, which is around mid-20s, when your body is the fittest. So this is the power that we're talking about here that you can have. And this puts you at, let's say, 9A, okay? You will notice that everything up to 9A is pretty linear, and beyond 9A, it's going to be exponential. Although that's not the case, because if you ask Ondra how it is at 9C, he will tell you that up to 9C, it's linear, and beyond 9C, it's exponential, okay? It's just simply where your genetics and starting age put you on the grade ladder. Yeah, that's the whole point of this video that I made, comparing different genetics and different starting ages with each other. Then they're gonna say something different, and it can't be both ways, right? It can't be beyond 7A exponential and beyond 7A linear and beyond 8A exponential. It is linear all the way. That's the truth. And beyond a certain grade, it just becomes so much harder reachable for us because we just don't have the genetics and we don't have the starting age for it. Yeah, this is the kind of wall that we hit at some point. Of course, you can push through this wall, but it's gonna require disproportionately more effort for you to break through that wall than all the other grades, required in terms of effort for you. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about, that's at least my opinion, okay? Always take my opinion with a grain of salt, as I said previously, but this is what you get. So we say Patrick Yep at Davide, awesome question. I'd love to see what Manny says. I'm very curious to know if/where the grading may be not linear. As I said, the grading is linear. In my opinion, the grade ladder is linear all the way. And it is very understandable that this myth, I call it a myth, the myth of the exponential grade ladder is so prevalent and so popular amongst the broad climbing population, the broad climber population, and that is simply because not a lot of climbers actually break through into these very, very hard grades, from where they could actually observe the grade ladder from above to realize, wow, it was actually linear all the way. Okay, so for a lot of climbers, the grade ladder, the top end of the grade ladder, lies in the dark. Okay, it's like a dark, not really imaginable place. Just like for me, it's not really imaginable to climb 9B, 9C. I mean, this must be crazy effort. Yeah, for me, not reachable in this lifetime. Okay, I gotta be completely honest with you there. I'm happy if I reach 9A. Yeah? But for some people, it is reachable. It is very well reachable. And these people, when they look down on what they already discovered in terms of grade ladder, they see a linear grade progression. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I said everything that I wanted to say. Mona says, your face looks rounder than usual. Haha, greetings from the bedroom. Yeah. I hope the little one doesn't make too much noise at the moment. So let's see how the NASA guys are doing, huh? Shall we? You only see freaking ground control. And in the chat, they already spam /spacecam. We want to see something. And you don't even have any sound or anything. No, it's now there's some sound. We're expecting that to start in exactly 3 minutes. 3 minutes. That will last for 6 minutes total. And during that time, we will be unable to command the vehicle or receive telemetry. That being said, Dragon is designed to be fully autonomous, so it's driving itself anyway. So Bob and Doug. It's crazy how long this stuff takes, man. They are orbiting the Earth there, and then at a certain point they let go of this capsule, and then it falls down, and yeah, interesting stuff. Funny to watch, I think. So yeah, let's go on. Keep Noise says, I have a baby on the way also. Big fat congrats, man. Congrats. How do you plan to climb and stay strong while having a family? Any tips? There I can get into something actually that I haven't talked about so far, which is really, really interesting in terms of sports performance overall, not only climbing, but I of course notice it most with climbing because that's the most thing that I do. But there's a whole plethora of hormones at play, okay, when it comes to pregnancy and also giving birth, and then after pregnancy the lactation and everything. So your girlfriend is going through a whole like cascade of different hormones. One of these hormones is oxytocin. Yeah? Oxytocin is kind of in German we say the Kuschelhormon, which would directly translate into English into something like the cuddling hormone. Yeah. So your girlfriend, oxytocin is the number one hormone that upholds the pregnancy. Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, don't quote me on that. I'm not a specialist, but what I noticed is that being with my girlfriend in a very tight contact room for over 3 months, yeah, because we were in Greece during the time the big sea happens, the Carnivorous. When it happened, we were in Greece, and we were living in my car essentially a lot of the time, at least. And if not, then we were still sleeping in a bed together, and obviously, so I got a lot of this hormone as well. Okay, I have the impression, and something that happens, for example, I mean, a lot of things happen to girls when they get pregnant, but one thing that happens is that their bodies become significantly softer. Okay, they become very soft. Their face also changes a bit. Their mood, of course, changes. Everything changes. Yeah, the body is getting ready for this kind of birthing act where crazy physical processes must happen, okay, so that it works biologically and that the newborn is actually going to live and that the mother is not going to be so severely injured that she's going to bleed to death. Yeah, so the body prepares itself here. Progesterone, no progesterone, says Garkanya. Thanks for correcting me. However, I think there is a hormone which is called relaxin, right? Relaxin is this thing that makes the body softer. Yeah. And also she had this strange little hip pain down in her hind thighs, which when let's say you're walking and then you're slipping and you rebalance yourself quickly, this kind of feeling. And if that happened to us during that time, we would get a slight pain in the hind thighs for some reason, because somehow our hips were so slack and so soft and so I don't know, so not toned, okay, not under tension as usual, that we could feel this, and I could feel it as well. Yeah, I could feel it as well. I could feel the elevated relaxin levels in my body as well. I had the feeling, and I could feel it at the crag as well. Okay, I could feel it that I didn't have the tightness that I usually have when I'm projecting a route or when I'm giving everything on a route and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, obviously this is not helpful in any way, shape, or form for high-end athletic performance. It's a very interesting process to see that, but yeah, and there's really nothing you can do about it. Really, you just endure it. You do the best you can, and but it was so interesting to see that process. Now, is this scientifically proven? It is scientifically proven that these kind of hormones are elevated in men as well when their girlfriends go through pregnancy and through lactation and everything. But is it scientifically proven that this is exactly what happened in my body back then as well? No, not at all. This is just what I have observed. I felt that I was just softer and I was quicker out of breath. I was just in a more relaxed mindset, more relaxed mindset. I also didn't project that hard. I just didn't feel it. Yeah, and I think this hormone really chills you down and just focuses you on getting the nutrients in, preparing yourself for this birth act and everything. So this is something that you should maybe expect as well if you have a baby on your way as well. And I tell you something, another interesting stuff. Once the baby actually is there, it is really an oxytocin machine. Okay, it is incredible. If you take it and you put it on your belly and you kind of, you fall asleep with this little newborn child on your belly, and if you do that long enough, you will wake up half an hour later from the deepest sleep that you've ever had. Okay, and you're gonna feel so, I don't know, lighthearted and almost happy and everything. Okay, because this kind of hormone, I think it dissipates through the skin of the newborn, and this is why it's so important that the mother has actually skin contact with the child a lot of the time, because then the body senses that the child is alive and that it's producing these hormones, and it senses for the mother that she should produce breast milk. Okay, that's why they say if you have troubles breastfeeding, take your child and have as much body contact as possible, as much skin to skin contact with the mother as possible, because this way the body senses, okay, it's still there, it needs milk, oxytocin gets transferred again, and then the breast milk comes. Okay, then the breast milk comes. So it's fascinating in terms of hormones, what's happening there, and I can really feel it. Okay, it's the levels are so significant that you can actually feel it. You can feel the oxytocin rushing through your body when you just take the baby and let it sleep on your belly. Okay, and you wake up and you just have to laugh. You don't know really why, but you're just happy, and you just came back from this super deep sleep. And this is, of course, how the baby bonds with you. Okay, this is how the baby bonds with you. It's just such an amazing process how nature wired everything just perfectly so that it happens, because you have to realize another thing, that a newborn baby can be a real pain in the ass. Okay, it can scream around. The ability of this little thing to scream around super loudly is just beyond all imagination. Okay, they can scream your ears out without any effort. Yeah. So and this is only one thing. Then they bite your breasts while breastfeeding and everything, and it hurts, and it's not all fun and play. Okay, it's not all fun and games. And I'm pretty sure if there wasn't also this bonding mechanism which they have with these hormones, if that wasn't at play, then they would have such lower survivability, because mothers would simply take it and leave it, and run away, because it's just such a crazy situation that they get put into all of a sudden, right? Without any anticipation of that. So nature, of course, it gives you the highs and it gives you the lows so that you stick together and stick it out, and that's amazing to watch. So this is just some of the stuff that you can expect. Okay, in terms of staying fit, you have to be really. If you have been very motivated beforehand, then try to keep up the motivation, although you might notice slight performance losses again because of the relaxing, and you're going to be just simply more relaxed and chilled down. But if you try your best, of course, to keep up the motivation, you can still do something. That's what I did as well. Now I'm completely resting because I have the feeling now I have this going on, and the fact that it's complete summer and it's humid and hot all the time. And I have to focus on this situation anyway. So it's just, there is not a better time to make a big rest, right, in my life. And that's what I'm doing at the moment, a bigger rest. So let's move on, I think, to the next question. Let's hop again around the corner and see how NASA is doing. Oh, we see something different than ground control now.
Solid altitude to the flight computers on when these are supposed to deploy.
Yeah, okay. I think we should see some parachutes really soon, huh?
For the drogue chute deployments, we should be just under 5 minutes.
First fuse coming in as Dragon returns to Earth.
Passing 15 kilometers, brace for drogue window.
Okay, 15 kilometers from surface. Okay, I think we will.
About 14 kilometers in altitude, 8.4 miles, continuing to descend.
Okay.
There on your screen, we have a shot
I think
of
we were
the
just in
capsule
time here with
as
the
it is
NASA
preparing to deploy
thing.
those initial
Don't
parachutes.
end up in Mexico. That's one comment of the live
Again,
chat.
these
The live
parachutes
chat
help
on
slow
these
the vehicle
bigger
down
streams is just amazing.
even further and help stabilize in preparation for main chute deployment.
Of course, they have a really high-end camera here at work. Again. Wow.
Right about now, the capsule is going about
480,000 viewers on that stream. That's crazy. Oh, there it's coming. There it's coming. We can see it. Holy crap.
And standing by for drogue deploys.
Wow, it's coming pretty fast.
Visual, 2 drogues out. There on your screen, we have visual confirmation of those 2 drogue deployments. All right, so 2 of 2, the drogues now out. They're going to do their slowing and stabilizing.
Okay, so they got 2 parachutes out now, and that supposedly slows it down quite a bit.
Parachutes deployed. Dragon under drogues.
Looking good. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I think it's clear why the camera is so bad. I mean, they gotta be zoomed in like crazy there. It's crazy how long it already flies.
50 miles an hour and already dropping.
50 miles an hour.
Drogues now detach. And there we have confirmation of deployment of the 4 main parachutes.
Oh, 4 main parachutes are out.
On 4 chutes out. We are visual. 4 main parachutes deployed.
Oh, they are already clapping in ground control. Nice job. Welcome home. Chat is going crazy. 510,000 viewers.
So at this point, the main parachutes have deployed. They are
okay. Come on now. Let's land on the surface.
Significantly. We are anticipating splashdown in just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Just under 2 minutes? It still takes 2 minutes? Okay, I think we can answer a question in the meantime while they are sliding towards the Earth again. DXL Cat says, I'm not sure if you've done a video covering that, but what's your skincare beta? Not split-wise and taping, but rather do you use creams, etc.? No, I don't use any creams. I don't use any Climb On. I don't use any keep climbing creams, whatever there is out there. Okay, this is money making. Yeah, this is money making. The best skincare that you can find is raw animal fats. And to be more precise, I would go with something like lard from beef, for example, or lamb is also really good. Lamb worked amazing for me. Yeah, the way how you apply it is simply warm it up a little bit so that it becomes a little bit fluid. Yeah, in your fingers. And then you apply it, let's say, for example, to cracky skin, or you have a split or something, and you put it on there, and the skin gets significantly smoother. It gets significantly more elastic. Yeah, and this stuff, unlike all the other stuff, it really goes into your skin. So you put it on, and I first noticed that actually when I was handling these kind of fats in a little bit of bigger volume, because I just experimented with diet again and everything, and I handled these kind of fats in bigger volume. And what I noticed is I had dirty hands from these fats, but after 10 minutes, it's kind of gone. Okay, it's gone, and you wonder where it has disappeared to. And the thing that it does is it simply diffuses into your skin, because it's so similar to the fats that you yourself have in your skin. And that way it kind of feeds the skin, and it provides nutrients. It has the vitamin D in it. It has the vitamin E in it, okay, that the skin needs to replenish itself, to rebuild itself. I don't know why everybody's going for beeswax and all sorts of oils and whatnot is out there, stuff that stays on your skin for ages, and you can feed it even 3 hours, 4 hours after you have applied it, because the body kind of repels it and don't want it to have it inside. Okay, it wants to keep it outside. It don't wants to ingest it, so to say. And yeah, that's why I use the raw animal fats. They work. Okay, they work. And there they hit the water. Well, that's pretty cool. It worked.
All good. And we're into section 4 decimal.
Did you? Can you give me some feedback in the chat? Did you watch the NASA stream as well?
Copy that you are into
The return to Earth of these guys, of the astronauts.
all around there. Our space dads are back on Earth.
I can't imagine that I'm the only one here interested in that kind of stuff, right? I mean, I have a large US audience. That's what I know. I need to replay that landing, says Nihilismo. Julian Neubacher says, thanks for the answer. On my 8+ project, I have to do a dynamic move from a 2-finger pocket in an overhang. Should I tape certain ring bender? How is it called in English? I think it's called a pulley. Or is it unnecessary? Well, do you feel that it's... I don't tape for inner issues at all. I only tape for outer issues. So let's say I have a split. I don't want the split to get bigger. Then I put some tape above it. But I never tape for a pulley, for a ring band, okay? Because I don't want to introduce foreign forces into my finger joints and finger tendons. They just should be able to do their job completely without help, so that they can lie out these collagen fibers in a perfect way. Yeah, that's my experience. I just reduce the intensity. Do you have any pain? Then it's not necessary, okay? Do you have any, is the body telling you to go slower or anything? Well, then it's not necessary if that is not the case, yeah? I wouldn't ruin my friction, okay? Because a tape is has not as much friction as your skin, obviously. So I wouldn't ruin my friction for that. I would just keep climbing and see how it works out. Tim's Lab says, haha, I literally searched NASA at the same time. Yeah, because it's just the time when they did their landing, huh? 550,000 viewers on the NASA stream. So yeah, they just landed. But if you're living under a rock or something, they returned now from the ISS, from the International Space Station today in their little capsule. And you could see the parachutes and everything. I find these kind of things always interesting to watch because I love how the conspiracy theory crowd goes crazy in the chat and types that NASA is all fake and that the Earth is flat and everything. So just for the fun of it, I just have to watch these things from time to time, you know. It's really funny. these big kind of streams when you watch the comments. But yeah, apparently they made it, and it looked very realistic, to be honest, for me. When they had the board cameras, there was this piece of paper was floating around like this, you know, just like it is when there is no gravity and everything. So yeah, for me it looked kind of realistic. And I have seen myself in my experiment that I conducted in Greece when we were in Greece just a short time ago. I have seen that the Earth is actually round. Yeah, so I can confirm that. But of course, you always have to find out yourself. Don't believe anything that someone else is telling you, okay? Then you're really just guessing. Find out yourself. Jeburashka Stocky says, anecdotally, the majority of experienced trad climbers I've met seem to have been of below average climbing fitness, struggling up 6C sport routes, etc. Do you know why this could be? I would say that it could be because trad climbing, the difficulty of trad climbing is not lying in the physical difficulty of the single moves, which is the case with sport climbing and bouldering, and it's rather the mental aspect that is difficult and difficult to overcome. So, and something that you also have to be aware of is that, and this is actually an interesting point. Okay, let's talk about that. This is an interesting point. When you trad climb and you climb in the no-fall zone, you will check out every little move, okay, in general when you trad climbing. I mean, let's be honest, we place these gears. I mean, I don't, because I don't trad climb at all. But if you're a trad climber, you place these gears. But if you're really honest with yourself, you really don't ever want to have you don't ever want to test this kind of gear by jumping into it, okay? You're always gonna check out you're gonna sit down slowly and see if it's holding you in a non-dynamic situation. But falling into this stuff with a dynamic fall, a lead climbing fall, is something that any trad climber will try to avoid. Yeah, because you can never be 100% sure, essentially. And what this does is that you're gonna check out every move on your route as statically and as controlled as possible, almost as if you're free soloing that thing. And this is something that really shapes your climbing style. We cannot forget that. Beyond a certain grade, climbing dynamically and climbing with flow and climbing with risk, climbing with risk of falling by going for that pocket dynamically, by going for that edge dynamically, this is much more energy efficient than trying to statically lock down every single move, although that is a lot safer, safer, quote unquote. So, and the point where I noticed that is when I was actually in the Elbsandsteingebirge, on my way up to Norway, where I was the year 2019, where I made my Norway Flatanger videos. On my way up there, I visited the Elbsandsteingebirge, and I met a guy, super cool guy. He told me, or he introduced me into Elbsandstein trad climbing, which is really the mother of all trad climbing. It's the pinnacle of all trad climbing. They don't even use any metal gear there. What they do is they make these knots with a rope, and then they put the knots into the slots of the sandstone, and onto these knots they put their quick draws, and this is where they clip in. So their ethic is that not any single metal touches the rock, because if you fall into this kind of metal, it could be because it's sandstone, that the metal chips out something of the rock, and then you will change the climb, and this is strictly forbidden. So what they do is they make these rope slings and put that in, and obviously you don't want to fall into that at all. You don't even want to risk any fall into something like this at all. So what they all have in terms of a climbing style is it's really like a sloth. It's just super slow, super precise. Every single little move is very considered. You do and this guy climbed into this route. I still remember. The guy climbed into the route, I don't know, maybe it was 30 meters, and it didn't even go to the very top, because you can actually top out a lot of these routes, because it's like these sandstone needles, and on top of it, you've got this little tip, and then you can stand on top and top out. Above there's often a metal ring from which you can rappel down. But apart from that, there is nothing there in terms of metal when it comes to the rock. You have to work with the slots, work with the cracks, and there you put your rope slings. Obviously you have to, you can't carry 20 rope slings up this route, which is 30 meters long, right? So obviously you also have high distances between the gears that you've placed. And all these kind of things are really crazy in terms of mental factor when you think about it. But anyway, the climbing style the dude had was super slow and super precise, and not a single dynamic move, of course. We see only static moves. We see a lot of shaking out, a lot of looking upwards, a lot of considering, am I going there? Am I going there? Am I gonna get myself into a bad situation if I do this one with the left hand? Am I gonna get into a bad situation? And this kind of thing, So what this does to your climbing style in terms of sport climbing is, of course, not really good, when you call it like that. And he was telling me as well that since he does this kind of Elbsandstein trad, which he likes a lot because it has this mental factor, he's become a much slower and much more static sport climber. And this is not very efficient. So I can very much anticipate or imagine that even high-end trad climbers do not perform so well on sport routes, because they just learned a completely different climbing style that way. It's really more like free soloing almost than sport climbing. With sport climbing, you have to take risks, and you can also allow yourself to take risks because it is safe. It is safe. There is not really a lot of potential for injuries or even death, which is definitely the case in trad climbing. So it's an interesting topic, actually. The climbing style of trad climbers is shaped towards trad climbing. Again, climbing has so many fascinating disciplines, and they diverge greatly, especially if you do it high end in one discipline. High end of one discipline is often a completely different sport than the high end of another discipline. Yeah, we know this from indoor bouldering versus outdoor bouldering, indoor sport versus outdoor sport. Yeah. Matteo Lunelli says, man, you are my biggest motivation. In a few weeks, I hope my first 7C plus route is going to be crushed after only 13 months of climbing. What? You climbed 7C plus after only 13 months of climbing, Matteo? That's pretty freaking strong, dude. I have to congratulate you on that. That's good progress. Keep crushing, man. Yeah, I think you can do it. I mean, the good conditions are coming at you, no? Where are you living? Matteo, I would say you're from Italy, huh? Guessing from your name. Where is that 7C plus route of yours? Tar Named says, hey Manny, wondering what, and if at all, is your experience with stress and anxiety? Any unusual tips for stress management? That sounds interesting. Wondering what's your opinion on the matter. Stress managing. So right off the bat, I can think of two things that come to my mind here. First of all is breathing. Yeah. So when I'm stressed when it comes to a route, for example, but also when I'm stressed, I can't know, talking to a girl. Okay, talking to a stranger girl. You want to get into a conversation with a stranger girl, and you can get kind of nervous. These things helps all the time. Yeah, okay, just calm your nerves, breathe frequently, breathe slowly, breathe regularly. Yeah, I mean, don't hyperventilate, of course, but breathing is the key to your autonomous nervous system. I don't really know how I can call it now. But you can calm yourself down with breathing pretty easily. And another thing that I would say is if you are afraid of certain situations. So let's say let's give a very simple example. Let's say you're afraid from the dark. You're afraid in the dark. One of the most effective ways to get rid of this fear, or to get rid of this anxiety, if you want to call it like that, you mentioned anxiety, is to put yourself into the situation and see that nothing bad happens. Yeah? This is one of the most effective therapies for any kind of anxiety. So let's say you're afraid from the dark. You go out, you get a friend maybe, and take a walk at the night in a forest. Okay, in the night in a forest. Most forests that I know, okay, we already extincted, unfortunately, all the wolves and all the bears and everything, all the dangerous big land animals that could do any harm to us. So going into in the night into a big forest is not gonna really have any objective danger to it. Yeah, it's gonna be very, very much triggering your fear from the dark, though, because it's going to be dark as hell, and you're always going to hear the sounds. Yeah, the sounds, some leaves moving there, some little branches are cracking somewhere down there, and it's going to be this super not cool situation. Yeah, you're gonna go through this forest half an hour maybe with your friend first, and you're gonna see that nothing bad happens. Next time you do the same thing and go without the friend, yeah, and you're gonna learn again that nothing bad happens. And this is how you get really rid of any fear. Also, for example, of the fear of falling. This is what a fall training does. You fall, you see that nothing bad happens, which of course only occurs if you have a proper belaying partner, yeah, which is something that I can recommend to anybody. Get a proper belaying partner first, a reliable one, of which you know has the skills, and then do a fall training with that person. Yeah? Then you can actually fall and see that nothing bad happens, and you can fall 20 times and you see that nothing bad happens even after 20 freaking falls, and then you do 20 falls unannounced, okay, out of the blue, to kind of test your climbing partner, to test your belayer, and you see again that nothing bad happens. And this is how you get rid of the fear of falling in terms of climbing. You put yourself into the situation and see that nothing bad happens. And this is, if you mention anxiety especially social anxiety seems to be a very common problem nowadays in the modern civilization. No wonder, because we are spending so much time behind screens like this, yeah, which doesn't really give any challenge to us in terms of social interaction. Okay, so let's say you're afraid of social situations, which makes me think of Everyday Regular Normal Guy. I don't know if you know the song. I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. My parents are really nice people, mother effer. By John Lajoie. You gotta look it up. And he has this line where he says, "And I'm afraid of social situations, mother effer." And yeah, because just so many people have social anxiety. They are afraid of social situations. They are afraid of joining a new group, for example. And instead of running to the psychologist and all that kind of stuff, what these people should do is they should put themselves simply into the freaking situation and see that nothing bad happens. Okay, most people are really nice. Most people are cool. They're gonna see, okay, there is a little bit of a shy dude, a shy girl maybe, and they're gonna try to include you. Okay, they're gonna try to include you. This is something that usually happens if you're a decently positive and cool person, if you're not the complete a-hole. Yeah, this is gonna happen. I've made these experiences as well when I traveled up to the north to Norway, because I was alone, and I wanted to climb at all these special places which I was visiting on the way up, and I had no climbing partners. I just simply showed up there and talked to the people. Yeah. And often enough, there is groups of 3, groups of odd numbers, climbing crews there, and they can actually use a 4th guy to make everything a little bit more efficient. Yeah. So that's what I can tell. That's what I can say about stress management and anxiety, man. It's breathing and putting yourself into these situations to see that nothing bad happens, and this way rewire your brain, getting it away from this stressy mindset, this anxiety mindset. Nihilismo says, I recall reading the primary bond is between the mother and the infant. The father is there to protect that bond. This is very correct. As an explanation to why many fathers struggle bonding the first few years. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a good point. Obviously, as a mother, you have just crazy bonding, yeah, because you're breastfeeding, you have all this big contact. You are usually the one that is able to calm the child, yeah. I mean, with us, actually, it's kind of funny because I also have this ability a bit, because I can take the child and carry it around, and she really likes that. We have a girl, and she really likes it. I don't know. This point being that the father is the protector, this is a very good point. Also, during birth, the father is the keeper of the cave. But in terms of who is in the cave, it was actually usually the girl giving birth and the midwife that's there, right, to accompany the girl, because this is really girl's business. The midwife went through this process as well at some point, probably, and she can guide the girl because she has been there already. As a man, we never can get into this situation even, so we cannot even be there. Yeah, we cannot even be in this crazy situation. So what we should do is we go to the entrance of the cave and freaking protect that entrance of the cave with our spear. Yeah, and against any wild animal, because there's gonna be blood spilled maybe, and then the predators are gonna come, and then you have to defend this area, this place. Yeah. So this is the purpose of the man. Men should not be absent from birth; they should be present, but they shouldn't be the guiding entity there. Obviously, they cannot even be, because they don't have the experience. You need a midwife for this, ideally. And then you can go through that kind of stuff. But yeah, in terms of after birth, when it comes to bonding, I can definitely feel the oxytocin in my body as well. But I can imagine that it's not as strong. I mean, I don't have as much receptors for it maybe as Mona has, yeah, because she's the mother, and she obviously has more bonding to the child. She's more important to the child also because she is what keeps the child alive with the feeding, with the calories. So yeah, interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. We read up on a couple of books with this, and it was just amazing to see all that. Tim's Lab says, on the subject of babies/relationships, have you ever experimented with abstaining from sex for climbing performance? Too much sex takes from you climbing, etc. Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, probably just the same as with the oxytocin. When you're cuddling and everything, it just makes you softer. It just softens you down, and this is something that you don't want for any athletic performance. The same is true with sex. Sex releases oxytocin. It is the cuddling hormone, as we call it in German, and it releases a whole plethora of other hormones as well. For example, dopamine, I can suppose, because it is something that nature wants you to do. Nature wants you to procreate. Procreating and the ability to procreate is actually very healthy. It is a sign that you're in good health. One of the most reliable health markers, apart from body weight and whatnot, BMI, metabolic function, whatnot, fertility. Fertility is probably the number one health marker. Are you fertile? Are you having a good sex drive? Do you have a healthy relationship with your girl? Are you fertile together? Is the chemistry correct? Does the chemistry fit? These are the things that are health markers, some really reliable ones, in my opinion. But that's off topic. Yes, abstaining from this hormone rush and everything is, of course, beneficial for climbing performance. It is also, you could also view it that way. Let's say we were still in nature and we were still hunter-gatherers. You would have to, as a warrior or as a hunter, first of all, you would have to earn actually access to procreation, because as men, we don't get judged by our looks and by our we don't get judged by our looks. We get judged by our abilities to gather food, to gather resources in the first place, and by our status. Status is in the end, status is ability, is the more resources you have, obviously, the more status you have as well. So these are kind of linked together there. But the ability to gain resources, and this is something, if you are still in that bachelor stage, I would call it, where you don't have access to procreation, but you have all this energy, okay? Because you finally want to be able to procreate and everything and make love to a woman, for example, to another woman of the tribe, because there is this pretty little girl in the tribe. She's called Stony Lindy or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. So you have this kind of love there in the tribe. But of course, she's looking up to other men because they have resources as well, okay? And then the question is, who wants it the most? Who has the most resources? And if you have this desire still, this power, then gathering resources is better. And athletic performance is obviously going to help you that. Once you arrive at the goal and you have enough resources and you get Stony Lindy, you can seduce her with all that resources that you gathered, well, then it's not necessary for the body anymore to go such super hardcore into this anymore. You can procreate, you get the hormonal rush, you can get chilled down, you can get settled down, and this is what nature does with you in that kind of context. It chills you down, it settles you down, and then obviously access to high-end athletic performance, which is used to gather resources, is of course somewhat impaired, because you achieved that goal. And this is also why you have to be so careful as a man, if you are in a stable relationship for a very long time, that you don't go too slack on this kind of stuff. Because you always have to keep in mind there's other men out there as well. And if they want it more and they have more drive than you, and don't forget, you get permanently slowed down, you get permanently relaxed, seduced by your woman, which you have there. You have you have regular sexual interactions and everything. So you get these hormone rushes regularly, and you're permanently a little bit, a little bit slowed down, a little bit relaxed. And then the competition can actually rise up. They can use this to their advantage. They can rise up. And at some point, if you're not careful, your girlfriend might find someone else more attractive than you. Yeah. So this is really how it goes with the relationships. When you are in a relationship, women have this capacity to make us slower and make us more relaxed and make us let go of all this achievement hunting and everything, forgetting about the fact that exactly this achievement hunting was what actually made them attracted to us. Yeah? We hunted these achievements, and that's why Stony Lindy actually fell in love with us, because we gathered all these achievements. Now that we have her, we must not slack down on these things, because otherwise Stony Lindy is gonna find Stone Hans and more attractive than you, because he has more resources, right? Because he has more drive, because he's still a bachelor. So be careful with that. Yeah, really interesting stuff as well. So let's see here. What's the next topics? Let me just really watch quick. Okay, now they're picking up the capsule onto the ship, huh?
Just updating the crew that they might feel some momentum as a couple of the rigging lines are attached. There we can actually, there's our first good shot of the individual who is placing that rigging equipment. Again, that's someone that's highly specialized and very well trained for these operations.
Okay, now they are boarding this capsule onto the ship, as it seems. Looks a bit burned, obviously. I mean, I think it had 3,800 degrees Fahrenheit or something when it entered the atmosphere, this capsule.
And actually, through those practice runs, they have effectively cut the recovery period in half.
Yeah, okay. We can see there's some interesting stuff going on still on the stream, on the NASA stream. Julian Neubacher said, I didn't watch it. Yeah, you can rewatch it anyway. It's just funny reading the comments in the live chat, you know. Matteo Lonelli says, US Italian pasta boys are not NASA fans. Okay. Yeah. US Italian pasta boys are not NASA fans. The NASA thing, I mean, it's kind of iffy because they get so much coin, right? They get so much coin. But anyway, they follow their passion as well. So much is for sure. Tooth of Love says, congratulations on producing a little human. Hope it's all going well. Yeah, we're trying our best. Thanks for all the congrats. By the way, if you're watching the stream right now, I always forget about it, but please drop a like if you can. That would be awesome, because then the stream gets ranked a little higher, and maybe at some point some new people find it, and we can grow the channel a bit. We're having some channel goals. In case you haven't seen the most recent update video on the channel here on Demonetized, I'm going to announce them here on the stream as well. We need to get to 1,000 subs, 1,000 subscribers. And we also need to gather 4,000 hours of public watch time, which is actually a lot, okay, for a small channel like this. For example, to give you an example, this stream and other streams like this, they bring me maybe 100 to 200 hours of public watch time, yeah, depending on how good the stream runs and everything. So it's actually a big milestone to reach that. But we need this because then we can actually activate the super chat function for the live chat, which is going to enable you to donate a little bit of tip money and make your question pop out of the other questions. Yeah, so that would be actually pretty cool, because this way you can support the channel, and it would be amazing. I already had someone in the chat who wanted to do a super chat, but he couldn't do it because the function is still grayed out, or it's just still not existing at all, right? So yeah, in order to get that, we need to reach these milestones. That just to let you know. Thanks for the likes. That's amazing. Matteo Lunelli. I live 50 kilometers north from Arco. Ah, cool. Started climbing in the bouldering gym last year and started outdoor lead climbing in January. The project is located in an old school crag where everything is sandbagged. Well, that's good. That's good because then you get used to this kind of grading and then everything else is going to feel easier for you at the holiday areas, you know. That's cool, man. 50 kilometers north of Arco. That's actually pretty close to the Austrian border, huh? Must be, or to the Swiss border for that matter. Cool, man. Pretty cool. Teams Lab says, thanks, man. I'll get Stony Lindy when I send my project for sure. Yeah. Go for it, man. Go for it. Andrea Tamborino says, best Siurana route. Well, of those that I've climbed, let's see, best Siurana route. Let's see. I did 3 AP pluses, I think, in Siurana. One was Calebo Rocca, one was Migrania Profunda, and one was, what was it called? The AP plus, the super classic AP plus in Kanpigi-Pugi. It's in the Kanpigi-Pugi sector. Oh, I forgot. But I think this is the best one, actually. That's stupid that I forgot the name now, because this is actually the best one of the three. Definitely not Migrania Profunda. Calebo Rocca obviously is amazing. It's just 40 meters of epicness through this super exposed overhanging crack. Yeah, this is just amazing. So if you have the level, get onto that one. Mr. Checky is the route called in Kanpigi-Pugi sector, and this one is actually amazing. I don't know even if it's only graded. Isn't it only graded at B? Isn't it even only graded 8B? But this is a hard route, man. This is a tough 8B if it's 8B. I think it's graded 8B plus. I'm not sure anymore. But yeah, this is an amazing route. Super bouldery, super at the same time power endurance-y. I had to struggle hard to fight it down, and it was really a last go thing for me. Let's see here. I think I need to have a sip of water, my friends. The voice is a little bit cracky already. Let's see. Hi, Manny. Tiki says, hi, Tiki. Happy that I managed to catch the live stream. Amazing. That's great. Thanks for joining. What are your thoughts on accepting the fact that in our lifetime, there are loved ones that will be lost, and there is nothing we can really do? Well, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. Yeah. I mean, in the end, if we discuss this to the end, then we will arrive at the conclusion, or I would arrive at the conclusion for me, and this is again just my personal opinion, but I've talked about this in one car video that I made actually when I was driving through the Swedish forests of greatness. I talked about the thing that I have, the longer I think about it and the longer I drove through these crazy big forests, I realized that time in itself, the perception of time that we have nowadays is not correct. Well, it is correct. It is reality. But this is, again, a truth versus mindset subject here. The better way to look at time is that it actually doesn't exist, that it is stationary. Here's why. If you have the feeling that time is just going on and we permanently lose time, and time is also going faster and faster because we live in this modern world, right? We do these new inventions every year after year. Our computers get faster and faster. Smartphones get smarter and smarter. Smart cities, blah, 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 blah. There was as much progress in the last 50 years as there was progress in the previous 500 years, right? So this really gives us the impression that not only time is going by faster and faster, but also that it is linear. Now, if you're looking into traditional tribes and how they thought about time, you will most likely find a circular perception of time, which is really just stationary, okay? Nothing really changes, always stays the same. And it is also natural that they believed this, because they could expect that their grandchildren will have just exactly the same lifestyle as their grandfather had, okay? So imagine you have these wild tribes. They are living in the Amazon rainforest, for example. They are living there for tens of thousands of years. Nothing really changes. There is just this big, huge forest. They always hunt the same animals. They always bath in the same rivers. They have the same plants around them, okay? It is the same for them. There is not really a big change for them. So it does not really make sense to think of time as a linear concept. It much more makes sense, much rather makes sense that it is a circular concept. And this is why a lot of these tribes, I'm not sure if the tribes in the Amazon, for that matter, really believed in that, but I know that a lot of traditional tribes thought of reincarnation as a consequence of that, because it just was so illogical that out of this stationary state you could somehow just pop out. To where should you pop out to? You just come back. You just come back in the form of your sons, in the form of your daughters. They carry your genes, and they literally are you, okay? They are you. You come back in them. This is you, yeah? Your offspring is you, in fact. And so is it a healthy mindset to think about these loved ones that you've mentioned as gone? Yeah, this is not a healthy mindset. Or even if it was the truth, it is not the mindset that is gonna make the best human out of you. This is again the truth versus mindset problem that we have here. Even if it was the truth, it is not a very healthy truth to have in your mind. It is much healthier to think of, let's say you really believed in reincarnation, and you believed in the fact that your offspring is really you. What would you do? You would find a partner. You would find a loved one. You would actually make some offspring, okay? You would actually make your lineage go on, yeah? Go on. And keep running the circle. Keep running the circle. And guess what? This is something that's from a natural biological perspective also the most healthiest mindset, because nature and biology always wants you to procreate. Ability to procreate, fertility is, as I've already said in the stream once, it is the number one most reliable health factor, okay? If you are healthy, you can do this. So yeah, really, this is how I think about it. Of course, in this modern day and age that we are living in, they would like to believe us that everything is just, we only have this one chance. We only have this one life. You better make the best out of it. You better live as intensely as possible, because you only have this one chance and then you'll be gone. Yeah, use up as many resources as possible, because this is your only chance. Even if people are already in pension, they get these advertisements. Go on these big cruisers on the sea, spend all your pensions. There is nothing really that you can do anyway with your money anymore. You cannot take it and give it, for example, to your children. Literally give it to yourself, yeah, to give yourself a better life in the next generation. No, you should not do that. You spend everything. You completely, give everything away. So this is, of course, in terms of consumerism and in terms of economics, the most profitable thing for them to, if you believe that. But it's not the healthiest belief for you. Yeah, for you, the healthiest belief is to think about a circle, think about reincarnation, and this is also what your loved ones are. You are your loved ones. Your loved ones continue in you. This way, you don't lose them. Okay, it's just you just entering a different spot at the circle. Yeah, this is the circle of life. This is the circle of life. JK says, What are your thoughts on lucid dreaming? Not the boulder. Have you ever had one? Yes, I had. Do you think it's beneficial for climbers so that they can try their project even in their sleep? Wow, that would be a nice use for you for lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming. I must say, something that I've noticed recently is that I don't dream at all anymore a lot. Okay, I don't really dream a lot anymore. Maybe, and this got me thinking. Maybe dreams, and I thought back into my high carb vegan days actually, where I dreamt much more. I dreamt a lot during the night. And I was also so much more agitated in my sleep. Yeah, I was also teeth grinding a lot, for example, in my sleep. And looking at it back from today's perspective, I could imagine that maybe all those carbs that I ate back then, they kind of really agitate the mind, they agitate the nerves. Yeah, and this really makes your brain firing a lot more than if you are on a more calming and relaxing, more fat-based diet. Yeah, which is not what I am exactly yet. I do still eat carbs, and but I just don't eat carbs only anymore. Okay, and this is also, for example, why the ketogenic diet is probably so beneficial for epilepsy. Yeah, this is what the ketogenic diet was actually first used for as a treatment for epilepsy, because the patients with epilepsy noticed that they had significantly less seizures when they were on a high-fat diet, on a low-carb diet. And this makes a lot of sense because carbs make you more agitated. They make your brain firing faster. They make your movements quicker and more explosive. Yeah, this is also why they are probably not so bad for athletic performance, as I always say. But anyway, since I am on a lower carb diet, I dream a lot less. I also dream a lot less since I have a stable relationship. I dream a lot less since I am out of the big city. I am in a very healthy environment, yeah, in a very natural environment, surrounded by a lot of forest, a lot of nature. So what this got me thinking was that maybe dreams are really the manifestations of unfulfilled wishes that we still have in our mind that we would like to come true in reality. And in order for the brain to work on that, to work that down, to keep it into your consciousness, to bring it into your consciousness, you dream about these things, and thereby you always kind of wake up from these kind of lucid dreams, don't you? And you think like, oh, damn, it would have been so cool if that was reality. For example, one super classic example of lucid dreaming is when you're able to fly, right? So you're in this kind of dream. This is one lucid dream that I had very often when I was a teenager. So you're dreaming and you're walking on the street, and all of a sudden you realize, whoa, wait, I'm dreaming. Probably I could just lift off now. And then you focus on it, and holy crap, it really works. Okay, and you lift off and you fly around, and then you can enjoy it for another maybe 10-20 seconds, and then you wake up. Yeah, so maybe you just had this complex, you wanted to fly as a teenager or what, and that's why you manifested this kind of lucid dream in your head. Who knows? Yeah. It's just one classic example. The other thing is, for example, SEX dreams. Yeah, SEX dreams. You often have them if you don't have this kind of satisfaction in the real life. Yeah, so you anticipate what you wanted to have in reality during these dreams, and also during these lucid dreams, in my opinion. And maybe because I'm now at a much more satisfactory place in life where I have a couple of these things done now, which I wanted to have, obviously so badly in my dreams, I don't really dream a lot anymore. But it really also could be just the diet, yeah, the diet thing. So interesting topic, man. Lucid dreaming. And I had some crazy ass lucid dreams. It was just amazing. Yeah. And sometimes I'm a little bit nostalgic about my lucid dreams because they don't come anymore. I don't dream, or maybe I also just can't remember anymore my dreams. Yeah, and back in the day I remembered them all very vividly. But now maybe I still dream, but I don't remember them anymore. All these possibilities can be. The fact is that I don't dream a lot anymore, at least consciously. And yeah, that's what I can say to that. Interesting subject. Let's see how NASA is doing. Oh, they've got the capsule already on board. What, they still haven't opened it or what? Let's see here.
Still on the timeline or a few minutes ahead, and we should be seeing about
it's funny. The boat crew, how they, of course, they wear the masks. They are proper citizens. They wear the masks. Okay, so they're opening the capsule, huh? I think we're just on time again. They're just opening the capsule right now. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, maybe it still takes a while. I think he broke a screwdriver or something now. They have to get a new screwdriver. Damn. Doesn't work like that. Yeah, well, anyway, we can check that out later. Let's go on to the next question. Matteo Lunelli again. I just started hangboard training to get even better. Great. I'm 17 and I want to get some A-days done before my 18th birthday in June. June. So you mean June next year? Well, that's plenty of time, man. That's plenty of time. You're gonna get your first A-day done until June next year. I'm pretty sure about that. You have amazing progression. So here we have boom, 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 ding, 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 says, ciao, Manny, and thank you for streaming. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining. I found your approach of not using shampoo and toothpaste really interesting. Trying the no shampoo now. My question is regarding dental health. See below. Is this correct? Basically, your strategy for little bacterial growth in your mouth overnight is to eat a kind of dinner that doesn't elevate your blood sugar as much. Correct. Thanks in advance. Yeah, the thing is, the problem with the high carb, high starch evening meals is that they elevate your blood sugar for a long, long time during the night. And if you have a closed mouth cavity, yeah, this is an anaerobic environment there. In an anaerobic environment, something like fermentation can occur very vividly with the bacteria in your mouth. Yeah? So what's happening then is that these bacteria will start to draw blood sugar into your mouth and ferment it. Yeah? They ferment it predominantly into lactic acid. And this is what actually causes significant eroding of the teeth and of the enamel during the night. This is when you wake up in the night because you have such a sour mouth that you have to do something about it. Most often you then go to the water and then you have a couple of sips of water like I do now. So yes, to prevent that, what you can do is, first of all, eat your high carb dinner earlier, okay? So that once you go to sleep, you don't have this elevated blood sugar anymore. Or just simply not eat a high carb meal before you go to bed. Simply eat a moderate carbohydrate meal with some fats mixed in or some proteins mixed in, yeah, some lean meats, something like that. For me, for when I was a high carb vegan, I often had the following problem. During the day, I was at university, I was still studying. Then after university, I would go to the climbing gym to train. And then it was already like 7 p.m. or something, yeah, when I got home. Then you start cooking your starches up, potatoes with vegetables, rice with vegetables, noodles with tomato sauce, whatever you eat as a high carb vegan, right? Pretty boring stuff. But anyway, you cook this stuff up and then you eat it at maybe 8, 9 p.m. even, yeah? And this is for a real, and you're pretty, you're in a pretty big calorie deficit because you did a lot of stuff during the day. So you smash in those carbs. And this is what's the problem, okay? This is going to elevate your blood sugar during the night significantly and for a very, very long time. And the mechanism for this, I discovered this, is because you eat these carbs, and then let's say it's 10 p.m., you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you brush off this layer of carbs that you have after a high carb meal, right? Which you have after a high carb meal normally. So theoretically, your mouth should be cleaned of all carbs, right? But despite that, during the night, you're gonna wake up with a sour mouth. So where do these bacteria get the sugar from, which they can ferment into lactic acid? It can only come from your blood sugar, okay? These bacteria draw blood sugar into the buccal cavity, and there they ferment it and create lactic acid. This is the main problem with high carb meals in the evening and how they erode your teeth. Another problem with carbohydrates and teeth is that they leach calcium into the bloodstream because the body tries to buffer the effects of a high blood sugar with calcium. Which is why a lot of people the teeth draw back. They sort of say they break down even, because the enamel cannot uphold the high calcification that it needs to uphold for its function, which is very hard for the teeth because they are super dense in calcium and sticking out of the body. So they can actually be only supplied by a very little surface area from the body, with calcium. This is why, as I've said previously, if you have something off in your calcium balance of the body, you're gonna notice it first in the teeth. There is nobody out there with osteoporosis that still has all teeth in their mouth. If there's osteoporosis present, then probably a lot of teeth are already gone, because teeth is where it attacks first. And the third thing is acids, just simply acids in the form of acids in fruits, acids in vinegar, whatever. These kind of things, of course, attack your teeth as well, but shouldn't be a problem if you have a healthy teeth structure. The problem really is if you uphold something like a high-carb vegan diet and high-carb dinners for 3, 4, 5 years, and then you combine that with tooth grinding as well. You got a sour mouth, do tooth grinding and everything, and of course you're gonna erode your teeth like crazy. Teeth brushing and toothpaste has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It's much more dietary choice. It's your dietary intervention that causes this kind of stuff. And if you realize that, of course, you can let go of toothpaste and teeth brushing. I mean, I myself do still brush my teeth, but of course without toothpaste, because toothpaste contains a couple of really questionable and toxic substances. What they try to do is they try to simply kill those bacteria off with toothpaste, which is of course not a good idea. These bacteria are there for a reason. You need them to stay healthy. Okay, they uphold the positive milieu in your mouth. And without these, you probably run yourself into more problems than with having these. But of course, you cannot feed them a super high carb diet. Otherwise, you will get problems. Matteo Lunelli, I'm studying chemistry in high school, and I always ask myself the concept of natural, because everything is made from elements of the periodic chart. It is. Or if everything is artificial. Well, I would rather go with everything is natural. Okay, everything is natural. Even this house that I'm sitting in is natural. The laptops that I'm streaming here from is natural. We are just a very, very interesting animal. Okay, one of the most interesting of those animals that are living on this planet, because we at some point decided to make tools. And in that context, it's actually really interesting also to think about these tools when we think about civilization and everything and how long it's already going. Because as a matter of fact, we are degenerating at a pretty rapid rate. The humankind is really degenerating fast. At many points on the planet, the fertility rate is already lower than what it would have to be to uphold population. And as I've talked previously on the stream, fertility is the number one key factor, the number one health marker, the most reliable health marker that we have. If you are healthy, you are fertile. Yeah, you can produce offspring. So the fact that our fertility rates are so low is giving a really, really clear picture of what state this modern humanity is actually in and what kind of problems it is in. Yeah, we've got huge problems, man. And one of the reasons why we even can survive with these kind of problems is because our tools have become so good. Our tools have become so freaking good that we can allow ourselves to degenerate to such a crazy degenerated state. Can't even explain how I should call it. But probably our ancestors, and I'm talking about the guys that lived maybe 5, 6, 10,000 years ago. These dudes, they were some badass dudes, okay? They probably were stronger than we are now. They probably were more intelligent than we are now. As a matter of fact, I think Neanderthal skulls, they had bigger brains than us, okay? They had, in general, bigger skulls, okay? They had a bigger morphology than us anyway. We are the domesticated little strange-looking dogs compared to them, okay? They were badass. What they didn't have was a computer, okay? What they didn't have was cars and everything. They didn't need it. They didn't need it. They were physically strong enough and intelligent enough to live in the wild, in the nature, in a very, very challenging environment, because they lived in an environment that actually had seasons. They had winters. Can you imagine living out there in the winter, in nature, in wild, with saber-toothed tigers and wolves, and you have only that cave and everything? I mean, it's incredible to imagine that. Obviously, this demanded a lot more from humanity than is demanded from humanity nowadays. If these guys, there's a good chance that if these guys got the training and everything that we have nowadays, the training theory, all the supplements, the drugs, the hormone therapy and everything, if they had access to that stuff that we have nowadays, they would probably break all our world records when it comes to sprinting, when it comes to all this kind of physical stuff. So this is the thing. We could say that even all this civilization thing, because humanity just has this tendency to form civilizations, to settle down, to increase population that way, but not only in terms of quantity, right? Not in terms of quality. But still, this is all still a natural process. We are part of this natural world, and we are just doing our natural thing on there. So, this is my. If you want to go for this, if you want to go for it in that black and white matter, to say either everything is natural or everything is artificial, I would rather go with everything is natural. Everything is artificial doesn't really make a lot of sense unless you believe in a creator, right? Who created this whole realm artificially from his own hands. But it's an interesting concept. Tim's Lab says, haven't washed my hair in over 5 years now. Hair is doing great. That's good to hear. I haven't washed my hair in... Let's measure our peepees in terms of who has not washed his hair for the longest time. That's the perfect climbing live stream there. Dirt bags as usual. So I haven't washed my hair, I think, in 10 years or more. That's what you can expect, okay? It's pretty good. Something interesting maybe in terms of the high carb vegan thing is that if you high carb vegan, your hair gets significantly drier. It becomes more stiff even, and it has the ability to really stand away from your body. Whereas if you're more on a high fat approach, you get this kind of soothing fat into your hair as well, and this way it becomes a lot more soft and more silky, so to say. So here again, interesting how diet affects this kind of stuff. But what you can see is definitely the fat metabolism of your hair kind of balances out once you start washing it only with water, and no more shampoo and everything. Charlie Pauly says, do you think it is possible to get from 7A to 8A in 1 year? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you have the right genetics for it, the right starting age, no problem. Boom, 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 ding, ding, ding says, thanks for your elaboration. Yeah, that's no problem, man. It was a pleasure. I actually have also studied biology, and I have never before heard about this phenomenon of bacteria taking sugar out of your blood. Really interesting. Yeah, I mean, have I tested this scientifically myself? No, obviously not. I haven't never heard it myself anywhere as well, but this is literally the only explanation that I could find myself for this phenomenon. How could I get these sour mouths if I washed my teeth so perfectly in the evening before I was going to sleep? What are they fermenting there? Into lactic acid, obviously. So it has to be like that, right? And the funny thing is, if you happen to are lucky and sleep with an open mouth once, and you actually get a dry mouth because you maybe also some air goes through your mouth, maybe you're a mouth breather, who knows? But also, even if you aren't a mouth breather, if you're sleeping with open mouth, the buccal cavity is not oxygen free, which means that fermentation cannot occur. Fermentation can only occur in the absence of oxygen, right? So if you sleep with an open mouth, you just have this dry, saggy, not really amazing mouth as well, but it's not sour. It's not sour, that the fermentation does not occur. So this is a pretty cool control for this phenomenon. Sleeping with an open mouth versus closed mouth, Open mouth will not give you as many troubles in terms of fermentation. It's gonna taste gross and everything despite that, because high carb meals are just really not a thing that you should do before you go to sleep. But anyway, this is a cool way to control for that. Dennis Bayramoglu says, hello Manny, big fan. Thanks, man. Started rock climbing in the beginning of 2019 and red pointed my first 6C plus in the June of the same year. Congrats, pretty good. But since then, I couldn't send a 7A. Yeah, okay. Here's my question, see below. People are always having so long questions. Man, I can't wait to activate those super chat functions. Then you can stand your questions out. Talking about that, drop a like on the stream, please, if you enjoy it. That would be amazing. That's appreciated. Thanks, because that helps the stream attain a little bit more audience and get ranked a little higher with the algorithms. Tell your friends if you like the stream to join on the channel, maybe subscribe, because again, we have to crush the 1,000 subscriber mark and the 4,000 hours public watch time mark, okay, until we can finally release the super chat function. Is it better to climb as many easier routes as I can, or project 7As instead of climbing easier routes? Thanks in advance. At your state, I would say, since you're climbing so shortly, and you had such amazing progression up to 6C plus in the June of the same year, you're climbing very shortly so far. So I would go for the higher grades. I would go for that max grade, okay? Try to push your max grade. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still progressing quickly. You're still in that stage where you can erode grade respect greatly. And grade respect is the number one thing that's holding people back from achieving higher grades, because they think, oh, it's 7A plus. That's so far away from my max grade. I won't touch this so far. No, go on that 7A plus, especially maybe if you have a partner with you who's projecting that 7C plus, that 7A plus himself, because then he can give you tips and then it works out a lot better. This is why it is so important or so useful to have someone with you climbing who is actually stronger than you, because they can help you so much in reducing your grade respect, because they have the beta for their project, which is harder than what you have tried before. And you will see then it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's actually possible. And then this is how you progress really fast. So I would go for the 7As, man. Just climb, try a couple of routes in 7A grades. Maybe let a stronger climber give you some beta. And you will crush it into 7A as well. 7A is not that much of a difference to 6C+. I mean, obviously, it's a new grade. Yeah, it's a new amazing milestone, but there's no reason to be afraid of it, yeah, or to wait for it to broaden your pyramid in advance. Use your momentum. Use your progression momentum as long as you have it, and really wait for that wall, that first plateau to hit you. And then you can still start with training different stuff or whatever you want to apply for a strategy. Boom, 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 ding, ding says, I just feel like I need to eat complex carbs in the evening after a hard training session to uphold relatively fast recovery and to ensure glycogen storage, refilling, etc. Yeah, true. Of course, I could eat more fat in the evening, but I feel like that must take a lot of energy to digest, which might not be beneficial for recovery and sleep. It is also not beneficial for the next session the next day to have a lot of fat in the body, as I've talked about before, because we want to run on carbs as much as possible if we're training, if we want to have higher athletic performance. Yeah. What I would do in your position, what I should have done back then when I was high carb vegan, I should have reduced the carbs by half, okay? And replace the missing carbs with some sort of lean meat. Yeah, don't be afraid of lean meat, especially lean red meat. You can also use fatty meat for that matter if the next day is a rest day and you don't need to have super high performance. But the lean meat is just gonna do well. It's gonna give you a very, very satiating effect, okay? You're not gonna get so many carbs into your system. You get the necessary carbs for recovery and everything. And then you maybe eat another breakfast the next day anyway, right? Which contains some carbs again, and then you do the session a little bit later and you have the fully charged up glycogen stores again. I don't know. I would rather go with thinking about my health rather than thinking about the next session, nowadays at least. Okay, back then I was going balls to the walls as well with the high carb meals. I wanted to have those glycogen stores up again for the next day. I wanted to have the recovery. I also wanted to have this kind of carb sensitivity, because it's actually a really amazing thing to have it. This kind of carb sensitivity, the ability to smash down carbs and really store it super efficiently throughout your body, is just amazing. But you have to eat a lot of carbs and you have to eat them purely. You can't mix them with fats, because then you throw your insulin out of whack. You throw your insulin sensitivity out of whack, essentially. And this way you impair your ability to store carbs, if you mix them with fats. If you eat them purely, you can store them really well. And this is something that I actually miss nowadays a little bit in terms of the high carb vegan days. Since I've been getting a lot more fats in my diet, which I feel is a lot healthier for my body, I have lost a bit the ability to store those carbs so super efficiently as I was able back in the high carb vegan days. Yeah. So again, here we have another example where we see that optimal athletic performance does not equal optimal health in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Optimal health happens in another stadium than optimal athletic performance. I would go with my health nowadays. Just replace half the carbs with some pieces of lean meat. They're gonna satisfy you a lot more as well. They're not gonna trigger that sugar addiction so much. And it's the healthy approach for me nowadays, I think. Ventura says, just joined the stream and don't want to interrupt you, but could you do one of the lattice assessments sometime? There is even one for free. I would be really interested in your results. Yeah, man. I would be interested in that as well. Not at the moment, because I'm just resting completely. I'm resting the F out of me. Probably I'm super out of shape at this point. But yeah, once I'm back into shape, why not? Yeah, would be cool. What do you think about unparalleled climbing shoes? I think they are awesome, although I have never tried them so far. I want to try them because apparently they have a model which resembles the 510 Team very much. And as you guys know, the 510 Team is my favorite climbing shoe of all time, which is now going out of production, unfortunately. So, yeah, I will try the unparallel at some point, and I, of course, will review them. Matteo Lonelli says 7A to 8A in 1 year. I think I can do it. What do you think? I think you can do it. I think you can do it. You're saying that because you got the question before whether it's possible or not, right? If you have the genetics and you have the starting age and you have the privilege and you have the dedication, of course you can do it. Why not? Damn, I have the feeling it's a pretty dense stream today. Let's just see what NASA is doing. Have they finally opened that freaking cap? No, as it seems.
And Dragon SpaceX, we show 0.4 parts per million on NTO, 18 parts per billion of MMH. That's below limits. We are proceeding with hatch opening.
We're proceeding with hatch opening. Oh yeah, let's go. Show me the inside. Have they found the screwdriver now that they need? No, I think they still need to equalize the atmosphere and everything. So obviously they have a completely different climate, as it seems, inside of the capsule compared to outside the atmosphere. And they have some systems running to equalize that out, I suppose.
Again, this is the culmination of what has been about a 19-hour journey home, all starting
19-hour journey home. Yeah, that sounds long. That sounds like a long journey. That sounds like a long journey, my friend.
Manually opened, and once doing so, flight surgeon Emil Menon will say hello and make sure that they're still doing all right.
I think we're just, again, on time for the opening of the capsule.
Exiting the capsule.
Come on, come on. Oh, yeah, now it's happening. We're so lucky, guys. We're so lucky. Where are the dudes? Are they still alive? Did they make it? Yeah, well, where are they? Get them out.
So right now they're going to put.
It looks like there are too many cooks at the pot. In my opinion, there should be one guy helping them out and not 10. Especially if the opening is just so small.
Will remain open and that any sharp edges around that side hatch are protected.
So where are the dudes? Oh, they're standing all in front of it and wondering where the dudes are. They are wondering themselves. Are they even gone? Are they there? Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna see it in a minute or so. Maybe if the dudes come out, we're gonna see. Charlie Pauli says, "Have you ever tried the new La Sportiva Testarossa?" No. What I can say is that the old La Sportiva Testarossa was an amazing shoe, and I was actually pretty bummed out to find out that they are not producing it apparently anymore. So I have to take my old model probably from the line and resole it because that was an amazing shoe, man. Ishan HM says, "Do you think that your 4 pillars for max grade, which are genetics, starting age, privilege, and determination, applies to literally every skill as well? And can you think of anything else to add to the list?" Yes, of course, this applies to every skill as well. Can you think of anything else to add to the list? Genetics, starting age, privilege, and determination. Yeah, you need good training facilities, obviously, but this falls under the category of privilege. No, that's everything. That's everything. I can't think of anything else. Determination is what covers all the motivation, the psych for it, the training motivation, and everything. So that's important, of course, as well. Some people, there is crazy genetics running around out there, but they will never realize their potential because they don't have the determination. So it really takes everything. It takes all of that stuff. And so yeah, that's why we don't see super new talents every year. It's kind of rare. Matteo Lunelli says protein is the most satiating macronutrient. Yeah, maybe, yeah, could be. I think fat is also pretty satisfying. The funny thing is that only carbs without fats or protein can actually increase hunger even more. It kicks you into that sugar addiction cycle, and thereby, it's really ruining your satiation. And also, this is another problem with the high carb vegan thing. You can eat endlessly, okay? You can eat endlessly on that stuff because your body never signals you to say, wow, okay, now I have enough nutrients. Because there's not enough nutrients present simply in these kind of foods, yeah? So this is the thing. Boom, 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 ding, 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 says, and focus on complex carbs to prevent crazy blood sugar spiking. Yeah, good argument with health and performance. I want to eat only little meat for environmental reason. Taking micellar casein now. Okay, micellar casein, that sounds like a supplement. Ever tried? No. It also holds a lot of calcium, but of course also not the best for the environment since it's from milk. Yeah, and don't forget, if you're using a supplement, then think about the industry that you're supporting, yeah? That's a lot of transportation, that's a lot of food processing, probably not the best quality food either, yeah? Probably they are making something out of trash there, pretty much. What I can recommend is rather eat a bit more meat, but source the meat from a good source, okay? Search a farmer. I mean, where do you live? Boom, 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 ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I live in Austria, and I wasn't aware of this myself a lot when I still lived in Vienna. Obviously, I was a spoiled city boy without really a lot of idea about the world in any way, shape, or form. But if you actually step foot outside of Vienna onto the countryside, you find out that there is pretty dedicated, cool organic farmers out there who have made themselves the mission to boycott all supermarkets and all that kind of stuff and really produce good local organic food. And this is actually what you want to support. Okay, this is what you want to support. This is a much better approach than saying, okay, and also environmentally and ethically speaking, okay, I'm not going to eat any animal products anymore because they are all produced badly and all contribute to global warming, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but then you eat a soy fake meat, you eat these crazy processed foods, you eat all that kind of stuff, which has not a good environmental impact as well. It kills a lot of animals because of crop deaths and transportation deaths and everything. You always have to keep in mind, theoretically, one human being could live off of one cow per year. Yeah, so theoretically, you could get down to one death per year for your sustenance. That's a pretty amazing ethical outcome, if you ask me. I mean, if you eat a pack of pasta to harvest that grain, you probably already have more than one crop death, yeah? Probably there's a couple of insects dying and maybe a little rodent, maybe a little bird there as well in that field if you harvest that grain. So, yeah, in terms of ethically speaking, you can get down to one big grazing animal per year. Obviously, this grazing animal eats, if it's eating grass, it's also eating a couple of insects. So then you have a bit of collateral damage there as well. Whatever you eat, you have to kill, okay? You have to kill. And if you don't kill the animals, then you kill the plants. Is that ethical? Is it ethical to hybridize plants to a crazy level where it's really just about crop yields, and these plants, they don't have any nutrients anymore because they basically live off of fertilizer anymore exclusively, and all this kind of stuff, okay? So there is a lot more nuance to this whole problem. And I understand very well that the worst thing is if you take an animal and feed it grains, okay, and feed it those crop death grains, because then you're not only killing all those crop deaths, but you're also killing the animal afterwards. And this is also very unnatural from a biological point of view, because for example, cattle, they should not eat grain. Yeah, cattle should eat grass. Grass is what they are designed for. They are ruminants. They have their 4 stomachs to ferment that cellulose down into saturated fatty acids, by the way. Okay, so these are not high carbers. They eat carbs exclusively, namely cellulose, that's true, but they ferment these carbs into saturated animal fats, and this is what they build their body up with, okay? And in that sense, these animals are amazing, because they are taking something that is absolutely unutilizable by us humans and transform it into something that is very well utilizable for us humans, namely the protein and the fats, yeah? The saturated animal fats and cholesterol, which is not at all in any way, shape, or form bad for you, okay? This is pretty much propaganda, I think. Especially raw animal fats, they are just amazing for health, yeah? But anyway, this is a different subject. What you said is, yeah, instead of, skip the whey protein, man. I would give the whey protein again, which for sure comes from grain-fed cows, which is very, very bad for all outcomes. Yeah, find a good farmer and get some proper quality meat. It has a much better ethical impact and much better environmental impact as well. Matteo Lunelli says, stream is dense AF. Yeah, that's cool. I asked too many Italian pasta eater-like questions. Yeah, man, but I always like that, and these are the kinds of viewers that I want to have here, that I want to have on here, that have good interaction, okay, that post some questions, that are interested. This is what it's all about, yeah. This is the kind of live streams that I want to make. This feels amazing. This feels very right to me. And yeah, for me, making these kind of questions is making these kind of streams. It feels amazing. Boom, boom, ding, ding, ding says, Matteo Lunelli, you have to go for it if there is the chance. Yeah, for now, don't forget, it could be that this channel will grow at some point, and then we get even more questions. We maybe get more viewers on the streams, and then it's going to be a bit harder to get all the questions through. But we will see. Probably we're going to stay this kind of level for quite some time, because now the first wave of viewers popped over to the stream channel, and now we run with that and see how it's going. Why did they even discontinue the 510 team? To my knowledge, they discontinued it because Adidas bought the brand 510, and they actually discontinued the production for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. But Adidas did not buy the people from 510, and apparently the people, the shoemakers, the actual workers of 510, they founded the Unparallel brand, which is now under this brand they are marketing the new shoes, the Unparallel shoes, and this is why apparently the Unparallel shoes are very, very close to the 510 models. Yeah, that only makes sense. Boom, 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 ding, ding, ding says, it's actually from Swiss milk. Unfortunately, not organic. I live in Switzerland and my parents are farmers. Wow, that's amazing. Well, then you have access to the high quality stuff, man. Then you have access to the high quality stuff. Switzerland is pretty known for their amazing cheeses, right? Because, they have the amazing farmlands and everything, the meadows in the Alps, right? So that's cool. JK says, Jakob Schubert or Alex Megos? That question already came about last stream, and I already answered it. I'm going to answer it as well in this stream, as it seems. After some consideration, I had to go with Jacob Schubert, because he's just such a freaking animal, man. He's just a freaking animal. And he has this aggressive climbing style, which is something that I a little bit miss when it comes to Alex Megos. In terms of raw power, there's a good chance that Alex Megos actually could beat Jakob Schubert on the Beastmaker and everything, on the pure force, the pure finger strength to body weight ratio, I should say. because Alex Megos is also at the same time a pretty stick figure, right? Jakob Schubert has a bit more muscle on his body, but he's still a stick figure as well. Don't get me wrong. But Jakob Schubert has this really go-getter attitude when he's climbing, and he's super aggressive. So I like his climbing style a little more. Jean Ramsès says, for someone that never had any long-term project but on-site 6B plus most of the time, what do you think should be his max grade? On-site 6B plus most of the time, I would say you should be able to max out 7A plus, 7B or something along these lines. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, Matteo Lunelli says, I think 7A plus, but depends on the style. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, thanks. Matteo Lunelli says, really nice stream, bro. Well, thanks for the feedback, man. That's appreciated. Gonna finish it tomorrow because sleep is important for performing at the crack tomorrow morning. Of course, fasted. Go for it, Matteo. Have fun. Stay strong. Keep crushing. And yeah, have a nice sleep, man. I'm gonna go to sleep very soon as well myself because stream is already going for 2 hours. My voice is already cracking, and yeah, we got some interesting stuff done today, man. We are already pretty diligent here. Have they finally got the astronauts out of the capsule? Damn, now I missed it, I think. I'm too busy with you streaming here.
So we're going to say thanks one more time for tuning in, cheering on Bob and Doug as they return home. And we'll see you next time when we'll once again be sending astronauts on American rockets in American spacecraft.
On American rockets in American spacecraft. So yeah, Yankee Doodles are at it again, huh? Yeah, okay, pretty cool. They made it apparently. That's nice. So let's see here. I'm gonna answer a couple more questions, okay? And then we might shut down the stream for now because yeah, it was really dense today. Final call to action here. Drop a like if you can, subscribe, support the channel. Thanks, that's appreciated because then we can get the stream higher ranked in the algorithm and we can maybe get some new viewers on here. What do you think about Laura Rogora sending 9B as the second female ever to accomplish that? And what do you think where she'll be in the future? Maybe the female version of Adamondra. Yeah, super strong, obviously. I must say, though, what she did, the 9B, it is this, I think, the Ali Hark cave extension, right? Which is essentially a super long boulder and a super big roof with lots of knee bars, lots of strategic tricking and stuff like that. It's really projectable. That's what I want to say. It's probably very consumable. Yeah, it's a very consumable 9B. I am a little more impressed by the 9B that Angie Aita did when she did the first 9B of a woman ever, which was La Planta de Shiva in Spain. Crazy sick route, and there is a video of Adam Ondra actually struggling on that route. So this means something already, right? If Adam Ondra is really struggling hard, then that means something to me. I think this is a super tough route, and Adam Ondra himself, I think, said that for the grade it was pretty solid, and he had a tough fight on it. So this impresses me a little bit more, I have to say, than the Ali Hark extension. But yeah, I mean, obviously this girl is a lot younger, right, than Angie Aita. So for her to be able to do that is it's a pretty impressive accomplishment. And yeah, who knows where she will be in the future. Maybe she can be the female version of Adam Ondra, who knows, yeah. Jordan Heller says, hey Manny, what is relation between boulder grades and lead grades? For example, someone who can do a 7A boulder, what is their lead grade without much projecting? A 7A boulder guy can pretty easily climb 7C routes, I would say. 7C, a 7A boulder is actually something that you would expect in a 7C plus 8A route if it is bouldery. Okay, if it's bouldery, then I would say the boulder of these kind of routes can be up to 7A hard. in terms of boulder grade. So what should be easily climbable for you without much projecting should be something along the lines of 7C, 7C plus. Yeah? Riley Sheffield says, how do you feel about the recent trend in retroactively changing offensive route names? Interesting subject. I think I've talked about that already in another stream because the question came up already. I think that this is a symptom of our nowadays snowflake culture. I always call it the snowflake culture. I mean, can we not handle the fact that opinion and way of life changes? What is socially acceptable changes, okay? What were socially acceptable route names at some point are nowadays not anymore. These things change. That's just like tearing down statues of people who did something which, according to modern standards, would not be looked as of as amazing. Okay, it would look as of as a bad thing. But does that really mean that we have to tear down their statues? This is this kind of book burning attitude. Okay, this is book burning attitude, and this is actually only leading to more problems. Erasing history that way and trying to get rid of something that is inconvenient nowadays is the wrong approach, in my opinion. In my opinion, what it should rather do is accept it as it is that way and say, okay, this obviously comes from a time when this was socially accepted. Nowadays, it's not anymore. What can we do about it? It's interesting to see that these times existed at some point, right? We don't need to burn books about this kind of stuff. The book burning attitude is actually really, really dangerous, okay? This is what gets you into trouble in the end, yeah? This kind of witch hunting thing that is now a thing nowadays, I don't agree with that at all. Okay, it's not a good approach to this kind of problems. Boom, 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 ding, ding, ding says, you are right, I am at the source. By the way, have you seen Jacob Schubert's Flash of Unendliche Geschichte in Magic Wood? Yeah, crazy stuff, man. The dude is so strong. In my opinion, the hardest Flash so far, if you consider all the slopers and high risk. Yeah, the high risk of falling, yeah. The thing is, Unendliche Geschichte is a super condition-dependent boulder. It could well be that Jacob just hit it right at the right conditions because it is so slopey and it's much down in the riverbed, yeah, the humid conditions, sometimes it's super hard to climb it and sometimes it's just very, very sticky, okay, for some reason. I think it is a very condition-dependent boulder. I actually touched the holes myself once when I was there. And it's a super impressive flash. What they should have done is they should have made an attempt on the whole route, right? Because you can actually top out this boulder and then it would be a 9A. Then it would be a 9A flash, which would be just amazingly impressive as well. But yeah, it's a highly condition-dependent boulder because of all the slopers and because of the stickiness that can help you or be a detrimental factor for you. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. But the way how he climbs these other Magic Wood boulders in this video, I mean, the dude doesn't project this for very long, right? The dude just goes there and just crushes all these things in 3 days or what. In these kind of 3 days where he was there, he climbed all the hard classics essentially. So the dude is just extremely strong. More can I not say. And I actually saw him climbing live once, way back in the day when I was still training at my old climbing gym in Vienna on the 45er, on the old 45er in the old climbing gym in Vienna. And there was this dude coming, and after watching him for some time, I realized it's Jacob Schubert, and the moves that he pulled off were just so insane, man. He just made these crazy big moves on these crazy bad holes and climbed the whole 45er. All his boulders were only consisting of 3 moves, essentially. And this was a huge training wall, right? He always built boulders with only 3 moves. From one lower end corner to the other opposite corner in a diagonal manner, and super big moves. I mean, the dude has long arms, okay? long arms, chicken legs. One of the first times that I actually saw perfect climbing genetics at work, live, with my own eyes. Jean Ramses says, "What the f? Look from L for M. What means L for M? I am a 7B bowlerer, but my max lead grade is 7A plus. Apparently, I'm not normal. Yeah, no, you're not at all normal. Your max grade should be something along the lines of 8A, 8A plus, 8B even. I think that, you see, a bowlery 8C route sometimes does not have a harder bowler than a 7C bowler, okay? If it's a 7C bowler in a route and it's a bowlery route, then you're already at 8C. Yeah. So let that sink in. If you can get your 7B up to 7C, maybe, which is not so far away from you anymore, then you can actually climb 8C routes theoretically. Obviously, it's not that easy to compare these things because, lead climbing demands a lot more strategy. There's a lot more stuff that can go wrong, a lot more, conditioning, blah, 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 blah. It's a bit of a different game, obviously, but when you just compare the physical bowler fitness, then it's really about that. Boom, 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 ding, ding, ding. Thanks a lot for your time. A friend of mine was there when he was studying Unendliche Geschichte. I was told he had 2 guys showing him all the beta and studied it for about 3 hours. Yeah. That sounds about right. I mean, it's a lot of moves, right? It's a long-ass bowler. It's a long-ass bowler. Tiki says, moonboard versus doing boulder problems on a spray wall for breaking plateau. Is the moonboard good for progressing? And as despite I am getting good at it, I can't really tell if I am progressing in general. I think the moonboard is amazing because it gives you such a huge plethora of problems and you never run out of problems. That's the cool thing about it. Yeah, you can do sessions endlessly. At the same time, maybe not so ideal because you can get distracted very easily, right? If some problem doesn't fit to you very well, you're maybe very inclined to just simply go on and hit the next problem. And this way you don't project long enough on one hard thing, as long as you actually should, to make the appropriate gains. On the other hand, if you have a spray wall, you really have to be careful that you do these projects that you set yourself hard enough and so that you really go to your limit. And you at the same time have to pay really attention that you not avoid your weaknesses all the time if you're setting bowlers yourself. So maybe you're really right-handed, then you do always bowlers which favor the right hand. Maybe you're bad at dynamic moves, then you always avoiding dynamic moves. And with something like a moonboard system, you get bowlers from the public, right, from the user base of the moonboard, and they have different weaknesses and different strengths than you. And this is how you get different stimuli into your training. And this is the big advantage of a moonboard, in my opinion, that you can get these bowlers from the database, and you get a lot more diverse of a stimulus in. On a 45er, you're really inclined to build something that is suited to you, to your personal style. So if you only have that, I would at least get some friends onto that 45er, some different climbers, and then, share bowler problems so that you all get different stimuli in. Sean Ramses says, okay, I really need to work on my lead. Thanks for your time. Yeah, no problem. It's appreciated that you're on here. Boom, boom, ding, ding, ding. I also go now. Good night, boom, boom, ding, ding, ding. Hope you have a good night of sleep. Thanks. I will try my best. Thanks for the conversations. Yeah, guys, I think we're gonna finish it now, huh? How do you think about that? I'll take a final sip of water from my beautiful Paulana receptacle here. The live stream receptacle of glory and joy. What an amazing experience drinking from it. I must say, I'm really happy with this stream. It was a dense stream. We could talk about a lot of interesting stuff. Thanks for all the interesting questions, guys. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop some interactions with this video, then the algorithm will rank it higher and a lot more people may find it and enjoy it as well. And then we can get to our new goals for this channel: 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of public watch time. That would be awesome. Tim's Lab says, lekker stream, Manny. I hope that's a compliment. I honestly don't know. But yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, again, have a good night. It was amazing to stream today. Thanks for all your interesting questions. Already start collecting your questions for next stream. As of now, same time, same place. We're going to do the next one next Sunday, 8 p.m. GMT +2. And that's going to be amazing. Tim's Lab says, mean sweet. Yeah, thanks. And yeah, good night. Good night. Learn it for essay. Learn it for essay. What is essay? I don't know. Yeah, so I would say good night. Schlaf lecker. South Africa. Okay, cool. Philipp Lieber says, Schlaf lecker. Schlaf ist süß. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys, for joining. Yeah. What an amazing experience. Take it easy, dude. Really enjoy the content, says Riley Sheffield. That's appreciated. I can't really, it's so hard. It's like phoning with that girl you like, it's so hard to stop the phone call. You say, no, now you stop the phone call. No, you stop the phone call. No, you stop the phone call. So yeah, I'm gonna be so harsh now and stop the phone call. Good night, my friends. What a pleasure. Bye.